Welcome to the Sales Legend Podcast, the #1 podcast for inspiring sales leaders and professionals who are eager and hungry to become sales legends. Welcome everyone to your Sales Legend Podcast. My name is Domenic Presutti, founder and CEO of L2L Coaching, a high-performance sales leadership training organization. We are all about creating phenomenal and legendary growth and value for sales professionals, business owners, entrepreneurs, sales teams, and entire organizations, helping them create phenomenal and legendary sales cultures and sales results. We are also the creators of the 10x10 Sales Legend Growth Model, creators of the Sales Legend Scorecard, and creators of the 8-Step Sales Legend Training Program. Becoming a sales legend is possible for everyone with the right training and learning. A sales legend is a sales professional who masters the art of connection, the art of discovery, and the art of closing. Today, I have the privilege of having with me an expert in the area of closing the sale. Our goal is to bring value to you through the insights of industry leaders. My guest today is Bjorn, owner and national director of BNI Canada and Corporate Connections Canada. He is also the president of the BNI Canada Foundation. He is the co-author of the forthcoming book, The Power of Connecting: How to Activate Profitable Relationships by Serving Your Network. He is a graduate of Bishop University. He is an accomplished athlete playing 4 years of professional football in the Canadian Football League. He then turned his attention to sailing. He won 2 silver medals at the Star World Championships and represented Canada as an Olympian at the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games. Kai was the first Canadian to win the America's Cup, which is the oldest sporting trophy in the world. Welcome, Kai. It's a true pleasure having you as our guest today.
All right. Thank you, Dominic. It's a pleasure to be here.
So Kai, today we will be discussing about the importance of how being an expert in closing the sale efficiently is critical for any sales professional. Before we talk about the importance of closing the sale, I do have a few questions I would love to ask you.
Sure, shoot, go ahead.
So Kai, make us understand, what is BNI?
BNI, Business Network International. It's an organization that started 36 years ago because a gentleman lost a client, and it was a large piece of his book of business and needed to fill that void. It was about 70% of his business. He needed to fill the void. So he surrounded himself with collaborative, non-competitive people to help him right the ship, which spawned this global movement for structured, organized referral marketing. And so BNI is a group of people that get together on a regular basis, get to know each other's wants and needs so that they can refer them different clients and opportunities. And the reality is with BNI, if I know what you want and I trust you, I'm able to detect opportunities within my network. And BNI, I own Canada here. We've got 280 groups, but there's 72 other countries that make up BNI with about 300,000 members across the globe. And it's really interesting, Dominic, because it's the consistency that we have as an organization. The meetings that you go through in Montreal are identical in China, Australia, all through Europe. It's a real structured, organized program.
I love, I love what you said. There's 2 elements that really stand out is knowing what you need or what you're looking for, and the question of trust. So 2 important elements. So congratulations that your organization is really, trying to understand what your members are looking for. So which, what brings me to the following question. I'm curious to know the reasons someone, besides those 2 elements that we've mentioned, what are some of the reasons they would be interested in joining BNI?
They would. It's a value of relationships. Anyone can get a referral. And so in business, we want to have a steady diet or a pipeline of referred opportunities. And so having resources around us, to support our clients is very, very impactful. And so we didn't learn how to network in school. We learned it on the street. We're either good, bad, or indifferent. And the beauty of bringing yourself together with a melting pot of people with different strengths and weaknesses, the different verticals, that enables us to have a larger pool to pull from. And it's all predicated on generating more business by referral. And so it's a fantastic tool for your business. Like I always say, I'm not looking for a new member this year. I'm looking for someone that sees the value in BNI to join for their business career. So we're a tool in their toolbox to generate more opportunities.
That's great. Generating more opportunities. You're considered a master networker. Tell us the way you learned to become a master networker.
It was by default. As a Canadian and an amateur athlete, the resources that we as a country have to support the amateur sporting arena is not enough to really make a dent and to be able to support us to achieve some high level success. And so I found out very, very quickly that I needed supporters and fans around me to generate more income and resources to start being a real professional. And I realized quickly that when I made a connection, if I maintained that bridge, well, that would enable me to go a little further. And so it was a necessity that I needed to learn how to network and approach people and get people to become fans of my campaigns, to be able to enable me to have the resources to go and be successful.
I love what you said, creating fans. That's absolutely important. You have such a large global network. Share with us the reasons this is good for you and how this is also good for the membership.
Well, it's interesting. We're transactional, right? When we talk business, we talk about our businesses and our ability to become transactional and grow the book of business or the imprint that we have, the footprint. What sometimes we don't put as much value in is the resources around us, right? And so when you have resources, you become very attractive to the people that you're servicing. And so we look at the length or the duration of a client. I want to keep people around me forever. If you know what I want, you understand what I want, and you trust me, you're going to be able to help detect opportunities personally and professionally for me. And I remember someone had called me and said, hey, listen, if I don't use that global network, can I get a discount on my membership? I stopped. I said, man, you've missed the boat. It's not just about you. And the person sold the product or service here in our town, and that was all they did. I said, it's about having resources for the people around you. And how attractive are you when you're able to support your clients, right? Or your collaborators? At that point, your stock, their confidence in you, your credibility goes up. And so to have a big, strong, robust network, whether it's locally, provincially, nationally, or globally, it just makes you that much better as a business person, or the ability to close sales.
You know what? It's
be a legend.
Exactly, becoming a legend. I think what's great about your organization is not only it's not just being part of a business networking group. At the same time, it's being part of a group and having access to numerous resources to help them, build their business or improve their business, or just connecting with great individuals who that they connect with to find new opportunities.
Well, I tell you, Dom, it's interesting because you never know who people know.
Agreed.
Right. And how many times are you sitting in an event and you talk about so-and-so and someone goes, do you mean that person? We don't know. And so it's an interesting thing. We get into these silos where I'm in finance, or I'm in home services, or I'm in finish the sentence. Yet I play golf with people that are in a multitude of different professions. I have childhood friends, families, mother, sister, cousin, whomever, that have access to people in different verticals. And so it's that ability to empower, and educate with clarity. Once I have clarity with you and you understand what I'm looking for, you're much better suited to be able to support me and find those opportunities for me, and vice versa.
Absolutely. Clarity, right? It's a great way to an important element to connect, which leads me to the following question. You also wrote your first book, The Power of Connecting, so tell us the impact you would love to have with this book.
Well, you know what? There's only so many people that you can impact or connect with on a regular basis. And so as a master connector, it's my vocation. This is what I do every day, all day. And so the amount of insightfulness and understanding I had from my network and from the people around me that helped steer me into networking, referral marketing, I started to gain lots of different perspectives. And so you try to tell people so much in a small sitting. I said, why not write a book? Why not document it with a chronological, systematic process of how do you develop a network, stimulate your network, activate your network, and then having a network that's profitable. And so by doing the book, it was a great exercise for me to really hone those segments, right? Because you can't sprint. You walk, you jog, you run, you sprint, right? There's a progression in anything we do. And by putting this book together, I was able to take my time and put that progression together on how do you become a master networker. And so I was lucky enough to have a fantastic co-author in Nikki Ballou, who really helped us hone our concepts, the ideology, and then that pathway to be able to empower people to be able to learn how to connect and learn how to benefit from the networks that they've built throughout their lives.
Thank you for sharing that, and congratulations in writing your first book. So let's talk about BNI now in existence for over 30 years. I'm curious to know, how has the pandemic changed the way BNI does its business? Because you are a business networking group. So how, please let us know, let our audience know how the pandemic changed the way, you do your business.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's all about relationships, and it's about depth of relationships, right? So if I know just a little bit about you, it's not as impactful if I know a lot about you. And so I remember my wife asked me right when this whole thing started, how we're doing. I said, sweetheart, it's over. Our business is done. We're in the in-person arena, in-person game. But we pivoted and realized that virtual aspect, 35 years we've been in person, it took this crisis that we all had and lived and are living to get us to learn that we need to adapt as well. And so we pivoted. We're the largest Zoom client on the planet now. We pivoted to that virtual experience and realized that that's where everything's going anyways. And so I was amazed at how able people were to adapt, all of us, to Zoom and being able to get that virtual presence. And so we tailored our program, our structured, organized referral marketing strategy online to Zoom. And I was amazed, just got the statistics for the past year, and it was comparable to what we had done year in, year out, going back 3 or 4 years. And so very proud of our membership, because, the one thing is you need your network now more than ever. That isolation that we all experienced, it was nice to have a supportive entity surrounding you and wanting you to be successful. And so that adaptation, that change that we all had, we had it as well as an organization. And so we were in sync with that. And it's nice to have a secondary vertical right now, because for us at BNI, all the millennials and the younger people, that's how they live, man. That's, they're an online engagements is much higher for them. But to bridge, the more seasoned, call it older business person with these youngers, it was nice. It was nice to see that we found that middle ground. And so we're very, very proud of our accomplishment. And we've got 6,000 members across the country, and it's because of them. It's easy to say something and ask people to do something. It's another thing to mobilize a business, mobilize a community, and have them deploy the strategy that you're building. And I was really worried, Dom, at the beginning. I said, okay, how are we going to figure it out? How are we going to know the nuances? And someone stopped me and said, it's going to come from the field. They're going to perfect it for you because they're running the meetings. And that's what happened. And so I'm very appreciative of the network that I have, and that our business is still flourishing. So it's an exciting time for us.
Thank you, Kai, for making us understand how a BNI may definitely be an important business partner for one's success. And regarding your book, The Power of Connecting, for everyone listening, this is a book you need to get. So now moving on to the power of the close. So many sales leaders and professionals avoid asking their client for a commitment. Make us understand the importance of asking for a commitment from the client before providing them with a formal proposal.
Well, you know what? I come back to the relationship, right? It's about developing that relationship and developing the warranting the opportunity to ask for a close, right? And so you can't just come in and do it. You need to build that relationship, build the trust, build the confidence, to be able to know that we're going to play together, and to have the confidence that I'm going to support you and do what I say I'm going to do. And I think if you look at it from those from that set of lens, it becomes a little easier to do, right? Because now I warrant it. I always have people come up to me, Dom, and ask me for an introduction to someone they do not warrant being introduced at their stage of the business, or more importantly, at the stage of relationship we have. It takes us years to build our network, right? It takes us years to onboard clients and have those clients with us for a long time. And we don't want to blow it up or disrupt that. We need to be very diligent about maintaining those relationships. And that all comes back to that starting point, which is sales legend, which I absolutely love. It's that philosophy and understanding of when is it your right to ask that client to be your client. I think that's an important piece of the puzzle.
Absolutely. What you mentioned, you need to build relationships, or build a relationship with the person in front of you. You need to basically build that trust factor is absolutely key. And at the same time, have the confidence, right? Have the courage, the audacity, to then, once you have that relationship, once you build that trust, ask for the sale. So thank you for that. Next question regarding the power of the close. As sales leaders and professionals, it's important to understand how to effectively handle client objections. According to you, what advice would you give salespeople on the topic of objection handling?
Listen, it's a reality. It's a reality, and those objections, they turn it. They enable us to better understand what our offerings are. And it enables us to better understand how we're positioning ourselves. It enables us to better understand the clarity of our messaging that we have. I worked with you on a small little project. You don't remember probably, but I do. When we were inviting people to an event, you said, let's have a contest on how many no's you get. And it was the ability for us to go out and ask something, have a response, but qualify it. And if someone objects to your product or service or becoming a client, you can ask them quite, positively why, and learn from it. And you may be surprised that insightfulness you'll get back from them needs you to adjust your ask a little bit, or adjust your engagement a little bit, or start better realizing why someone needs your product, right? There's so many variations, Dom, man. It's that collaborative thing as well. Every single client you have has someone before you and after you. And if you start becoming a student of the game and understanding, why would someone be ahead of me and why would someone be after me, it starts giving me clarity on why I'm in the middle, right? And it also enables me to start working with these referral partners or these collaborators that may be beneficial for us, because if I have intel and understanding of what problem I'm solving with you, knowing who needs to be ahead of me and knowing who needs to be after me is golden, right? Because it positions my understanding of where you are in that continuum of what we're going to do. And it can be very, very sport specific, depending on what your product or service is. But I always educate and tell people, you got to be a student of the game. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to engage, but don't be afraid on the information. You may be a little bit upset that you didn't get the sale, but learn from it. This is not, we're not transactional. It's relationship based on my side. We want the deal, but let's understand the flow and the cycle of what that does. And that's something you guys are very, very good at L2L. So,
I like, the word that you mentioned a few times is to learn. And you're absolutely right. Objection handling is a way to learn more about the person in front of you, about your business. So, thank you for sharing those thoughts. I often, ask sales leaders and professionals if they really know their competitors. It always makes me smile or even chuckle when they answer by saying, that the only competition they have is in front of the mirror. but being more
Yeah.
serious
Yeah.
here, right? Being more serious here is, regardless if we think we are unique and that we have no competition, the reality is that there are competitors all around us, So I'm curious, with your sales experience, how do you approach the topic of competitors with your members or your clients?
Yeah, it's understanding. It's understanding. I mean, when you go through an engagement with someone, if your product or service or offering doesn't fill the gap, you need to understand who may be able to support that person, right? Because I said that at the beginning, I have a review mirror, and that's one of the most important lessons I learned in life from my father. You got to be able to see behind, man. We can't just plow ahead, right? And so having an understanding of what's out there, it enables us to position ourselves better. And we may just turn and say, you don't need my product or service, but you need this one. And once you get that piece going, then you might come back to me. The amount of appreciation that these people have for you is amazing. And they may just turn around and tell someone else, hey, go call Kai. He has something that can fill the void. And it's that engagement level, right? So understand who's before you, who's after you, or the competition that surrounds what you do. It enables you to better position yourself, right? You don't want it to sort of be, it's me or them. No, there's room for all of us to play, and just have a good understanding of people, because your prospective clients will appreciate your knowledge and understanding, right? Don't hammer or don't diss, as they say, the other people around you. Just understand why you may be a better offering for them, but you won't be able to do that unless you are very cognizant of the other people in these different spaces, right?
Kai, it was a true pleasure having you as our guest today and sharing with us all your great insights, experience, and knowledge. For all our attendees to know more about BNI Canada and how Kai and his team may help you be part of a premier business networking organization, Kai's contact information will be appearing on the screen at the end of the show. Kai, thank you again.
Domenic, it's absolutely a pleasure to have you in my network, and that's an important piece of the puzzle, is to surround ourselves with good people. And so I'm privileged and blessed to have you in my network, and it was an absolute pleasure today to talk a little bit about how I view the Sales Legend campaign. So I am appreciative of the learnings I get from you. And I'd say back to you that if you're looking to improve your abilities to close and sell, you guys are fantastic in that space. And so it's a welcome addition to the sales cycle. Thank you, Dom.
Thank you, Kai, for that, for those words of encouragement towards L2L coaching. Thank you very much. So once again, I would like to thank everyone for attending our podcast today. Please stay tuned for our next podcast, where we will bring you another industry leader who is creating tremendous value and growth, and creating in their own way phenomenal and legendary results. To learn more on how we are creating sales legends, please click on the link below to access free training to help you achieve sales legend status, and to learn more about the Ultimate Sales Legend program. Once again, thank you, and keep striving to be phenomenal and legendary.